So I just got out of my morning meditation, and what's on my mind today, my mind has been racing the last few days, just really sitting with it in meditation and just kind of like, there are lots of thoughts and I keep having to come back. But what's on my mind today is enoughness. And not just are we enough, but like when is enough healing? And in the healing practice of, sitting with our traumas and our feelings and all the things, like I can touch this place of consciousness where it's just all good, like there's like peace. And is that enough? For years I've had this healing practice of like I'd feel all the emotions and I can feel them coming up, and I'd actually dive in and I go into the emotions and into the grief and into the anger and express them and let them move through, and then kind of find the peace on the other side. And what I'm really sitting with now is like, of course that works and that's a beautiful practice, but what actually feels more expansive to me now in my system and with where I'm at in my healing journey is that maybe that's actually like I can feel myself starting to cling to that pattern where I need to go into the emotions, right? Like that's now an old pattern of having to feel my way through all the emotions. And what if that's not necessary? What if it's enough to actually see the emotion, see the feeling that's there, but I don't actually have to dive into it. I can notice it, but I can stay in the centered, aware place, and I don't have to kind of, the reacher part of me, the part of me that wants to reach it, that wants to move through it, that's kind of forcing the emotionality to move through the emotion. What if it's enough to just sit and see? Like the part of us that sees the pattern, that sees the emotion there, is seeing enough. And can it be enough? And because when we see, then we're in the observer. We're already seeing it. We've already reached it. It's already there. We are already acknowledging by seeing that part of us is not us. So it's been interesting to kind of sit with that and realize like, oh, there's a part of me that really resists letting that be enough, that it's not enough because that other part of me that has gotten so used to and trained to moving through the emotion is actually the part that's now falling away. So I guess those are my morning thoughts. I'd be curious what your thoughts are. It's definitely a new way of being. I'm so grateful for the emotionality I've had and the ability to move through and with emotion. And I feel this new phase coming in of seeing being enough and actually staying in the centered, grounded place and staying in the peaceful place. And some other part of me, the doer part of me, is like, ooh, that's not enough either. Like, I don't actually have to do anything. What? Like, I don't have to do the healing. Like, I can literally just stay here. Like, ooh, something feels wrong about that. Like, this is supposed to be harder, right? Healing is supposed to be harder. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Yeah, morning thoughts. Where can we let it be enough? And maybe healing doesn't have to be quite so hard.